Well, good evening. Looking at some of the names that are here tonight. Thanks so much for coming in on this webinar for InterNACHI. And it looks like I might have some relatives on. Not sure who James Meadows is, but great last name. And hopefully you're English Irish just like I am. So, and well, tonight we're going to be talking about one of my favorite subjects, which is the new construction and 11-month warranty inspections. And I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to talk a little bit about these two types of inspections and how unique they are to other inspections. While they're similar in many ways, unique in other ways. And I think you'll find them the same. But just to give you a little background, they said to give a little biography as we started out here. And as you can see down below, my name is Randy Meadows, and I'm the owner of Focus Inspection Authority, LLC, here in Southern California. We're actually out of the Orange County area. We cover Orange County and the beach cities all up and down Southern California coast. So we also take in northern San Diego County and up into LA County along the coast as well. And then we go inland to Riverside County, some of San Bernardino County as well. And currently we have 5 inspectors with us. Of course, with the market, everything's a little downside, so we're trying to keep everybody busy. But so far, so good. The market's kicking up a little bit down here in Southern California, especially with a high-end buyer. So we're looking pretty good on that. My history and the reason why I like this particular topic this evening that we're going to be talking about is because that's where I basically got my starting in inspection. So I was in the fire department, Los Angeles County Fire Department, for a number of years. And then I took my retirement. But before I took my retirement, I was a firefighter paramedic and then also did inspections for the County of Los Angeles and studied building sciences and also forensics. So many times we would go in after the fire and determine certain causes of fire. So it was quite fascinating for me. After I took my retirement, then I found a niche, in the inspection industry, and basically started with inspecting for builders here in Southern California, doing solely warranty inspections for them. And the reason for that was a little different take on this particular industry, which also affects the reason why we need to be on high alert with regards to our 11-month inspections. And that is because of the defect litigations that are solicited heavily here in California by a number of law firms. So they solicit homeowners starting many times after the 3rd or 4th month after they've purchased their homes. And unfortunately, many of these individuals will answer because they're just not aware of the first-year fit and finish warranty that builders offer. And that can be quite exasperating down the road, since they find out once they've entered these litigations that it puts their warranty at stake, and it almost immediately decreases the value of their home, because it now becomes public knowledge that they are claiming that their home, although it's a brand new build, is actually a defective home. That's what they're saying in writing. So when they go to sell the home, if they complete that type of litigation, it actually affects the resale value here in California. So you can talk to some of the real estate agents that have their perspective on those type of resales. But individuals answering such inspections, what we would do is start by trying to help them to see that they indeed do have quite an extensive warranty by the builder. And even if it's not just the first year, even if it's the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th year that they've entered these litigations, the builder has extensive warranty on their construction. And so helping homeowners to understand the value of their home and the construction warranty is really something that inspectors can be of a great value for their clients. So anyway, that's how I got started in this business, and then continued doing these types of inspections, probably, I don't know, a couple thousand of them. And then we had COVID, and COVID basically closed down all the court systems. And that was about 80% of my business. So we just massively opened up to the public with regards to real estate sales. And that's when the market was, of course, going crazy with regards to sales. And it was the perfect time to enter and start getting friends in the real estate industry. And we built up our clientele, and then we started hiring additional inspectors to assist us. So basically, that's the story of Focus Home Inspection. And that's why I have, I think, more of a propensity and a passion for this inspection that we're going to be talking about this evening. And that is primarily the 11th month, what we call the 11th month home warranty inspection. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. I'm just going to cover a couple of things starting because we've got about 50 minutes or so to talk about. I'm trying to jam in as much information as I can into this webinar so that hopefully if you're an inspector in this area or around the country, you'll be able to see a little bit of the nuances of our warranty inspections here in Southern California, which is a little different than probably some other parts of the country, depending on what builders are that you're working with. So let me go here and see if I can share my screen here. And I know I've got backup in the back. And AJ, if it doesn't come up right, just let me know. So let's start with this screen right here. All right. So basically, I'm starting here because this is the beginning of it all. If you're an InterNACHI inspector, why you're probably pretty familiar with these two tabs, these logos, which is the 11th month warranty inspection logo, and then of course the new construction inspector logo. Now, if you probably noticed this right away that the use of these logos by InterNACHI is requirements for them is basically identical. And you're going to see that, the use and requirements of the 11th month is the 10 different courses that you have to complete. And down below on the new construction inspector, it's the 10, same thing, 10 different courses that you want to finish in order to have the privilege to use the logo. So we'll just keep it up here and just basically review real quickly. Everybody knows, the 25 standards every inspector should know. And really, those are very instrumental. If you're really familiar with those 25 standards, you're going to be pretty successful right away with trying to identify areas that will be of value to the client in calling out for the builder's repair. The 11-month warranty inspection. And what is it? Well, every builder, for the most part, offers what they call a fit and finish warranty. And that fit and finish is basically related to a new home that a person is going to move into, and they're going to be like the driver of a new car. And as they drive that new car, they're living there 24 hours a day. They're looking and admiring their beautiful new home, and they start noticing things that don't appear to be quite right. And so the builder usually will tell them, look, you've got a year to tell us whatever you want, and we'll come in and fix it. And for the most part, that is true. Usually builders will repair just about anything, not everything, but just about everything with a new home build within the first year. Now, there are some builders that offer what they call a 2-year fit and finish, and they're more rare, but they're out there. And the reason why they do that is for, number one, to increase, their service to their clients. They want them to be happy. And number two, a number of things start to settle in a house, and sometimes they don't settle completely in just the first year. And new homeowners start to realize that, hey, my house is changing, before my eyes, in fact. And another reason why this warranty is in place is because builders know that primarily they use what we call in the industry wet material. And what that means is just new material. It's wet and it's drying, and there's a lot of caulk all over the place, caulking in every wall and every little crevice of the home. And unfortunately, here in Southern California, that starts to dry out fairly quickly because of the temperature and the humidity issues that we have here. And before you know it, at every angle of the doors and in the window sills, there's cracking of the caulking, and people start to think that their home is basically just falling apart. So sometimes they start to panic, and that's when these litigation attorneys start to mail out in mass these letters soliciting, litigations, either class action suit or civil action suit against builders. And unfortunately, people start to answer them. So the 11th month warranty or 2-year warranty on some cases is very, very helpful for builders. And unfortunately, sometimes builders don't make them quite aware, the clients quite aware of how extensive it is. So we try to do that when we go in for our advertisement of our inspections. In fact, we have advertisements that we send out for individuals that have recently purchased homes, and remind them that it is their responsibility, not the builder's responsibility, to inspect their home towards the end of the first year. And if you don't know what you're looking for, or you don't know what to look for, then we're the service to provide that. And it seems to be fairly well accepted by the public. So then, as you look at the other requirements here, it does cover residential plumbing, performing residential electrical inspections, roof inspections, HVAC systems, the structural issues that you'll find on the outside and the inside of the home, exterior inspections, and then going into the attic, insulation, ventilation, interior, and the rest, deck inspections, and moisture intrusion issues. So that's basically what the courses entail. Now I'm going to just open up here a document. And AJ, can you see that document?
I'm not seeing any document. We're still on your
Okay.
Google Chrome.
Okay, hold on just a second. Let me just make a change here in this. One moment. I have to stop. I have to kind of switch out of this, I think. Hold on just a second. Yeah, share screen. Okay, I found what I want. Okay. Is the warranty book up?
Yep, you got it.
Okay, cool. All right, so basically just kind of a call out for a standard home warranty book that people get. And it helps people to appreciate that besides the 1-year warranty items, which sometimes can be quite extensive and a long drawn out dialogue in their book, so we're not going to cover that. But I thought I'd bring this up because this is a popular builder here in Southern California, and they have some other extensions to their fit and finish warranty on certain components that homeowners should know about. So even after the first fit and finish warranty year, they have some coverage on other things. Like, for example, the plumbing and the sewer area here. This builder gives 4 years from the close of original escrow date. So what that means, the commencement date is the date that they close escrow. That's the time clock. Time clock starts, and people have to be aware that they have a limitation by law, according to what they call SB 800 series of laws here in California, that they can claim the need for repair on these items. And the first thing is plumbing and sewer systems. Now, when we're doing a first year fit and finish warranty, we also try to add on the ancillary service of a sewer scope inspection. And people sometimes will say, well, it's a brand new home. And we say exactly, and that's why we are recommending it, because during the construction phase, as many people might not know, that these contractors will pour all kinds of stuff down the sewer. Not just drywall mud, that finds its way into the sewer line and then starts to dry, and then is a propensity for blockage and problems within just a couple of years after people purchase the home. But there's also, construction debris that gets unfortunately put down those sewers when they're many times putting in the toilets or putting in the tubs and showers. And unfortunately, sometimes if you know contractors and sometimes these individuals that work on homes, why if they're not getting paid enough or if they're getting pushed by the boss, on the job trying to pick up the pace, sometimes they rebel and, they'll put stuff in the walls that you won't be able to see, but sometimes they'll put it down the drain. So, these type of inspections come in very handy. And interestingly, it's a 50-50 chance that we actually find construction debris. And many, depending on the builder, but a 50-50 chance that you'll find something. And if you don't find something, then you'll have the peace of mind that is clear. If we do find something, it's up to the builder to correct it, not the homeowner, which is a real big upsell for them. And besides the debris, sometimes there's the compaction in soil during the construction period that sometimes will affect the sewer line, either starting to make a belly in the line or even cracking a sewer line or fracturing it. So these are really good opportunities for inspectors to give a thorough inspection of the home. It's a brand new home. Let's just make sure that it's a brand new home. Cracks in exterior pathways, driveways, hardscaping, sidewalks. Usually builders will give up to 4 years for that because there's settling going on in these homes. And much of the hardscape that was put in by the builder, not by a side contractor or a second contractor, but they will continue to perform warranty work up to 4 years. Now that warranty work usually is, so we can call it out, usually here in California, if the crack in the hardscape that the builder has put down is 1/4 inch width, or there is a variance in height, so deflection. And if that's the case, then it becomes, a potential tripping hazard, and the builder then comes out under the warranty and will replace or repair the area of defect. Manufactured products, remember that manufactured products on the 11th month warranty inspection is all under the manufacturer, so not really the builder, although the builder obligates itself usually to assist the homeowner in receiving the warranty repairs by the manufacturer. So say, for example, you have all your kitchen appliances that have been installed, maybe they're Whirlpool or something else. The builder will help them through Whirlpool, their Whirlpool representative, to come out and repair any defective manufactured product. Same thing with the HVAC system, the windows, the faucets. And what's interesting and beautiful about the faucets, usually builders here in California are putting in Moen faucets. Same thing with other manufacturers, but Moen offers a lifetime guarantee with regards to the parts of the faucet, or if the finish of the faucets, are starting to decrode or show some sign of defect. They can get a free replacement the first year and the second year and the 10th year. The builder will help them on the first year with not just the parts and the labor, but going forward after the first year, homeowners can still receive the parts by just calling Moen, their 800 number, and sending them usually a picture of the defect, and Moen then sends out the parts for free, even a complete faucet for them if it's still under their warranty. Let's see, the second or third area here is this noise for attached units. This is basically for condos, and we do a number of condos, and that's really a good place to advertise, because many times those condos, if within the first year that they all sold, you've got a huge market there to advertise towards. And that's why this part is in there, noise for attached units. There is a certain noise variance with regards to attached units that California gets upon builders. And so sometimes, we don't usually hear this very much, but sometimes people say, hey, this wall, which is a common wall, I can hear my neighbors over there. And if we can replicate, anything, and usually the neighbors into the inspection as well, because it's a common wall. And we can sometimes get them a reevaluation of insulation. And of course, the infrared cameras come in real handy when you're doing those types of inspections. Going back to this line here, the operation of irrigation and drainage systems. This is only a 1-year warranty. The finish covers that as well. And we're going to see some pictures later on. I'll show you some of the defects that we've found with regards to the irrigation drainage systems that have been put in by the builders. And the builders actually come back and they repair or replace the irrigation systems that are defective. Even the plants, if plants, as a result of the irrigation system died the first year, most builders will actually replace the plants outside. So it's a really good warranty, extensive on that as well. Wood posts, of course, everybody knows about wood posts that are basically on ground level. And if they're not protected, then they start to have premature wood rot. We're looking for those things. Unreasonable corrosion on metal fences or steel fences or gates. Those components are covered for 4 years. The wood posts are covered for 2 years by this builder. Deterioration of the building surfaces on exterior with regards to paint and stain. They actually have a 5-year warranty. So sometimes we go out and the first year we see premature fading of certain components on the exterior. Here in California, they tell people by the Builders Association that you should have your exterior wood components repainted every 5 to 6 years. What's of interest to me is that this builder gives a 5-year warranty with regards to those surfaces, that it should not be premature in a deterioration or deficiency. Now, we find sometimes the deterioration, even in the first year, sometimes these structures will have, side panels, on their windows, certain trim parts, wood trim parts, and they are already fading at the first year. The builder will come out and repaint it. It's because the wood feature was not prepped right. So the builder accepts responsibility for that, and they'll come out and do some repairs on that. So if you find that, why it's something you can call out for first year fit and finish warranty. Landscaping, as we mentioned earlier, that builders will cover their plants and other organic materials for the first year. And they also, interesting is the dryer duct. This is a kind of a common thing where sometimes the dryer ducts are defective. They're not, installed correctly. Whoever was hired to do that particular component. And so they have a special warranty just on the dryer ducts, and it goes for 2 years, not just the 1 year. And then you have down below the big coverage, which is the fit and finish warranty, which is only 1 year. And it's just about anything and everything. There are some exceptions to the rule. So what are some of the exceptions? Well, the builders basically will not cover, obviously, anything that the homeowner did. Like, for example, scuff marks inside the home. You go in and you see, well, they have little children. And out here in California, they use, a flat paint, which probably everywhere they do, for the majority of the house. And little children put their fingers on it. And then people go to try to wash the fingerprints off the flat paint, and it just completely ruins the paint finish. And they're trying to blame the builder. Well, the builder says, no, we gave you explanation in our warranty book about the paint. It is a flat paint, and it's an entry-level paint, they call it. So if you're going to do more of a semi-gloss in your house, or an eggshell, usually people try to upgrade and put an eggshell paint so it's more conducive to cleaning if you have little children running around the house. But this is kind of an overview of the warranty book in itself of most builders, and the time limits on things. Of course, down here is the big one, the fit and finish warranty down below, and then the other extensive warranties. And then we'll just cover one other thought here on these warranties that homeowners should know. And that is, after the fourth year warranty, where certain components, are done, like the plumbing and some of the electrical things that are done out of the builder's warranty, they still have 5 major points of warranty on construction warranty. And that is roof leaks, in-wall plumbing leaks, cracking of their exterior stucco at 1/8 in general, and cracking of any interior drywall at 1/8 of an inch in width. And then foundational cracks at 1/4. So those are the 5 major points of continued warranty by most builders. And we speak of them here in Southern California. It's probably the same way in other parts of the country. But at least you know where we're coming from. And the key is getting to know the warranties of the builders in which you're servicing your clients. And it doesn't take too much. Many times you can go right online and find out where their warranty disclosures are, and sometimes even go into the communities where they're building homes, and you can find out what those warranties are. And that will prove to be very helpful if you just get to know it. And then as you express that information to the client, I promise you that probably 8 or 9 times out of 10, they know nothing, or they haven't even read the warranty books. So you're there helping them to understand it, and it's a great asset for your clients. And of course, it's something that InterNACHI becomes famous for then, as we have a actual logo for the 11th month warranty. Okay, let me take this screen down. I have to stop just for a second, the share. And we're going to move on over here to another. I don't know why I have to do this. I think we just had a problem in doing this. Okay, and let me see if I can get this other document I want up here. Hold on just one moment. Oh, no, that's not it. Hold on, sorry. Okay, give me a second here. Sorry about this technical glitch we're having. Okay, here we are. Okay. Now we got it. Okay, and let me just put this in front here. So AJ, can you see this document here as focus? What is a warranty inspection?
Yes. Yeah, we
Okay,
can.
cool. Okay, cool. We're back on the key here. So let me just cover some of the issues of warranty inspections as we go through this little list I made up here. So an 11th month warranty inspection, you know, just for the builder's warranty expires. We're trying to help homeowners to get as much work out of the builder as possible. And, you know, whatever you're charging for your warranty inspection, it's going to come back to that homeowner, your client, 100-fold, I guarantee you, on the number of things that we find in these new homes. And sometimes it can save them thousands, literally thousands of dollars, which really makes this particular type of warranty a real asset for home inspectors. All right, so in some cases, the warranty might extend to 2 years. We covered that. This inspection is critical in finding defects in the home that might have happened during the home ownership process or were not found before that. So just covering some of the common things that we often find, almost always, we find issues with the roof. And here in California, the majority of our homes now being built are usually a tile. So what we usually do, because some of these homes are really large out here in Southern California, in certain communities, we're just flying drones. And we get the drone up and we take some awesome pictures, and then we put it on our screen and enlarge those sections of the roof. And almost instantly, we start finding the areas where the tiles have been cracked, people who have walked on the roof, or because out here on some parts of our Southern California coast, we get high winds. And, you know, out here we advertise, you know, that if you have high winds over 50 or 55 miles per hour, always good to get out and take a look at your roof, because those high winds many times will cause damage. Just basically lift the tiles up and shift them. And we have all different kinds of problems with roof tiles cracking and slipping. So the majority of drone flights, we find issues with the tiles. We also find improper roof installations. And many times you'll find that maybe the builder hasn't painted the vent stack, or there is some issues with regards to the flashing around them. Our drone picks that up very quickly. The flashings in and around the the roof where the valleys are very easy to pick out, usually with the drone. And it also helps us from walking on the roofs. And here's a key for you guys, is that there are some builders that while they are under your 11-month warranty, they don't want you walking on the roof. So be real careful if you're walking on the roof and you have a builder that says, you walked on that roof? And then basically they start telling the owner, we're not going to be covering. So be careful. And this is one reason here in Southern California, because of all the high litigations, we usually do not walk on the tile roofs. We'll ladder off the side if we have to, and then get a good picture of the different perspectives of the roof and fields, left, right, front, middle, all the different fields of the roofing material. And that usually suffices to get a number of areas for repair, and then the builder has to send up their roofer, and sometimes they'll find additional issues as well. Other common things that we find is missing insulation in the attic. We get up into those attics and find that the builder, supposedly, put some insulation up there, but it's not meeting the required 12 inches, generally speaking. And so we're calling it out, and the R value is too low for California. So the builder sends back the insulation crew. And this is another good thing for the builders, that they have all of their contractors still under a mandate to return if they find defect during the first year. So many times our calling out these issues is actually helping the builder build a better product. And then they get a better reputation as well because of the actual inspection. Leaking plumbing, we're always looking for that. Toilets, unfortunately, sometimes because of the tile that the client has actually requested the builder put in, and the contractor, the flooring contractor, will come in and put in the tile, and he doesn't properly seal the toilet, we're going to find toilet leaks. We use, of course, our moisture meters down below, and especially on the upstairs toilets, always very important to give a moisture meter reading so that you know whether the seal is already busted and they're already having problems underneath that new toilet that was installed. The grout is going to be a big one. Grout, tends the first year to dry out and crack. So we're going to find grout, common to call out grout cracking and caulking cracking all around the house. The tiles, especially in the bathroom and around the shower, especially in the corner shower of the pan, we're going to get cracks, generally speaking, almost 100% of the time. And so calling that out in itself, the homeowner loves it. He says, yeah, I saw those little things and I thought that they were normal. Nope. Yep. Let's get them repaired now. And what's interesting is that builders know that you're going to call this out, and it's no heat off their back to send in a crew for an hour. And that's all they do, a couple hours, and they go through the entire house, and you put blue tape everywhere where you found these little cracks, and they love it because now they're in there and their guys know exactly where you called it out. And here's another key, is that when you are going and you're putting blue tape, you're doing a blue tape marking, a good key to remember is, which our crews do, is that after we have blue taped a room, we take a picture of every wall, every ceiling after the blue tape, because that tells them where we actually put the blue tape. We've had guys go in after us. In fact, we were doing an inspection the very day that someone was in there doing the repairs because the homeowner called. And we were, after the guy had gone through and made corrections, we were going back after his work, putting blue tape up where he didn't do a complete job, or he didn't, he just missed it completely. And then as our guys walked out of the room, I saw with my own eyes their contractor going in and pulling the blue tape off every place we placed it. And then I confronted him on it, and I had my guys come back in, put the blue tape, and take a picture. And they hadn't taken a picture yet. I told them, we've taken pictures, buddy. You gotta do your job right. So the client sees that, they know that you're their advocate, and it goes a long way for helping homeowners to have trust in your company that you're giving them a top-rated service. And then let's just talk a little bit about the minor cracks in stucco. It is true that builders, under their warranty, for the most part, will not, many times, choose not to correct stucco cracks that are hairline. And this is fine, but we still put them in our report under hairline. And this gives the client an opportunity to have in their report an area that they need to go back and check in about 6 months to a year to see if it's widened out. Usually builders will go ahead and correct it if it's 1/16 or wider. They do say in their warranty 1/8, but many times they'll come back and do 1/16 of an inch. And you can tell the homeowner the difference is the edge of a dime is 1/16, the edge of a quarter is 1/8. And that makes it really easy for homeowners, to kind of put their eyes on the crack and see, is this hairline? And then the other issue with hairlines, if it's quite an extensive a number of linear feet of hairline, what the building industry standard here is, the general rule, if I'm getting this right, is I believe 60 linear feet per 1,500 square foot home. So if you're walking around and finding about 60 linear feet of hairline, then you know that you're probably around standard still, and it's nothing to be concerned of. But if you have a 1,500 square foot home and you're finding 160, 200 linear feet of hairline, we've got some issues, and it should be reported to the builder for further evaluation under their first year fit and finish warranty. Then other things inside, cabinet damage. Always we find something going on with cabinets, the way people are putting in cabinets these days. Unfortunately, a lot of people are using this, foil, heat foil laminate, and they find people are finding that it delaminates around heat. So as you can identify the type of cabinetry that they have, you can give fair warning. Look, it looks real good right now, but I want to show you something, and you show them why that foil laminate is not the best cabinetry. Usually homeowners know that they came in on the lower level of the entry level. It's usually warranted by, warranted for 1 year by the manufacturer, but they say that it should last them 8 to 10 years. But many times it doesn't even last a year. It starts to delaminate. And this is the time to get it fixed and replaced. And hopefully it, with the watch over keeping heat and steam away from the laminate, it will last, as it's intended to last. Appliance damages, all of those are covered by first year fit and finish. So I put in a checklist here that we usually offer our homeowners just to keep an eye on different things. Some things we don't explain everything to them because it's a little bit too cumbersome to try to explain everything, but I give them a little list here, things to look for and things that we have checked. So obviously windows, doors, all penetrations of the structure we're looking for, especially on the outside. We go to all the hose faucets. Is their penetration open? Anything that they put on the walls and they haven't properly sealed around those penetrations, that's a call out for the builder. They can't have an open penetration. And then another big one that we find here in California is weep holes. Right here, the weep holes of the stucco. So the bottom of the stucco has the weep hole, weep screed there. And we take a mirror and we go around the majority of the structure, and we're looking for weep holes not being covered by the slop coat or the brown coat, texture coat of the stucco. Most of our homes out here are stucco. There are some other types of cladding that we use out here that's popular, brick veneer, stone veneer in some parts of the home. And we're looking for different issues with those components as well. But I'll tell you the truth that many times we do find that builders have contractors that are putting on their stucco, and they're putting it on so fast, and they're coming up with an upstroke from the bottom, and they're covering the weep holes. And of course, that causes problem with moisture intrusion and the improper ventilation of the stucco underneath. So we call that out, and builders are usually very good about coming back and correcting that. They take, it's hard labor for their guys, but they come out, they get on their hands and their knees, and they're out there scrubbing, scraping off the stucco underneath. Sometimes what you'll find later on is that strip of stucco that's on that weep screed will actually come off in sections, because the first year they didn't have it cleaned off, and then it just falls off. People see that and they say, my home's falling apart. And we just tell them, no, it's just the part of the coat that's basically was put under there. It doesn't need to be there. It's not affecting the structure. In fact, it shouldn't have been put there in the first place. But you have to be careful what you say. So you don't want to, get people, paranoid about their builders either. So you want to be the builder's friend so that they let you come on to their property, especially with the new construction and warranty inspections. We look at the paint application, of course, look for any window damages, that the windows were installed correctly. It's hard to tell sometimes after the pre-drywall phase if they were actually flashed properly, but sometimes you can tell by just the way they were installed. Not uncommon sometimes to find the windows installed actually upside down. We have the weep holes up on the top instead of down below. And it's kind of a funny thing to find, but every now and then we find it. So we're just kind of careful on these inspections, looking for any of those weird defects that you might find. Plumbing fixtures, of course, electrical equipment, now outlets we test. Really, we're kind of above the standard of practice. We test every outlet on these new homes. And there's good reason for that. We do find that sometimes there's an occasional outlet that really just doesn't work and it's not wired correctly or it has a bad ground. And it's an easy fix for the builder. And of course, it helps the homeowner say, man, those guys are really thorough, which is what our company strives to project, a thorough inspection. Into the garage, here's an area. I'm going to show you pictures later on here in just a little bit. There's the firewall, and you go into these new homes, and unfortunately, sometimes they have put up the drywall so fast that they really haven't covered the sill plate. And the sill plate is a combustible component. And so the drywall comes down to where you have the sill plate is actually exposed and the drywall is just above it. So you have this large gap in between, and people will say, is that gap supposed to be there? And while it's not really, a major issue unless it's a firewall, and then usually it is because the way they've constructed it, they were too quick and they didn't complete the component installation. So that's a big call out, and it's a big fine because it is a firewall that was not completed, and there needs to be fire stop there so that that particular combustible component is not exposed. We find other things, of course, you're going to look at the installation of the heater and the air conditioning HVAC unit, the air handler, that there's no leaks and condensation lines are good. Many times, the first year, you'll find that there are, and which I'll show you a couple of pictures here in just a bit, that it was not installed correctly, and is a good call out for the builder and helps them to evaluate the contractors that they're using on their build as well. The interior walls, the bathrooms, the kitchens, we're checking everything in those areas, which you other fellow inspectors no doubt do as well. But unfortunately, we do find things like even the drain poppers aren't working properly, or the mixing valves on showers that aren't properly set. And so you don't get, people have been taking showers with 108-degree water, and they're wondering, why is it just not hot in the shower? And well, it's a good call out, and people will thank you up and down because now they get actually hot showers instead of the lukewarm showers that they thought. Well, I thought it was an energy saving device or something like that. And you can help them see it's a mixing valve that wasn't properly set. Here's another issue. Make sure that when you're in the electrical panel, you are looking carefully at these new panels. We do have the call out of the square D, that has been defective. And we do have a number of builders out here in California that have used square D. In fact, that's all they've used. And they're having to repair or replace, rather, a number of their square D panels that we're finding on our inspections. And of course, we're checking and explaining the GFCIs and AFCIs to the homeowners. Many of them don't know the difference. And that's a big plus for them to understand how their electrical system works. We check the plumbing. Going into the attic, of course, we find many times on these new builds, we find trusses that are damaged, gusset plates that are disconnected. It's not hard to find them, but it goes a long way for the owner because we found it early, and now the builder can repair those issues. And it's impressive because most owners don't go into their attic and then you're taking pictures for them. This is what your attic looks like. And then they find a sense of comfort that you found those issues as well. We talked a little bit about roof, and then finally the foundation. Most of our foundations out here in California are slab on grade. So we don't have any The older houses have the crawl space, but not the new ones for the most part. So it's easy for us to inspect them, and we're looking for the post-tension issues that many times you'll find the builder somehow, their post-tension penetrations on the exterior of the stem wall outside going around the building, you'll find that there's holes, and that is a decent call out for builders because those should not be exposed. It tends to rust and causes the cracking on the foundation prematurely. And the drainage towards the foundation. We're always looking for drainage issues and the way sprinklers are put in by the builder. And what will help the homeowner's understanding builder's responsibility versus a subcontractor that the homeowner hired to do landscaping or hardscaping in their back of their homes. So that's basically a list of things that I put together that hopefully will be of help to you. And we'll have this up on the site. AJ will have this document. He can post it for us if he wants. Okay, now let me go back. I have to get out of this view, unfortunately, and we'll change views. And I'm going to take you to a few of the inspections that we've had by Focus Home Inspection. Let's go back. All right, here we go. Okay, so we come back to this screen here. And just sharing that. Okay, there's that. We already went through that. And this is your 25 points of inspection by InterNACHI. I think we've already covered that as well. So let's go to a few of our inspections that we've performed here. We use the Spectora reporting system and have developed an inspection for new homes, which helps us to call out a number of things that we might not call out on a regular inspection because of cosmetic issues. Remember, even cosmetic issues, for the most part, if it's not caused by the homeowner during the first year, the builder will come in and do their best to repair these cosmetic issues. So just some of the areas that we have found, I pulled up a few of the reports that I thought they had some interesting pictures for you, things that you would find. And obviously these are, new install novice mistakes by some of the contractors. You're going to find tiles that are cracked, broken, and slipped. This is a 10-month, this is 10 months. So it was there when they actually purchased the home. And the way that tiles are set and slipped will sometimes need to be corrected. This is one thing I hate. Right here, you'll see the gutter, and it's actually draining out over the tiles. Builders, if they're installing gutters, go the cheap way, and they, while this may not be a real critical issue, sometimes it actually aims towards the flashing. Like we've seen them aim uphill. We've seen drain spouts come down and actually face the flashing, like right over here, and then going into the flashing, the corner flashing here. And that's going to cause a leak eventually. So we try to encourage the builder, to change the direction of the flow if they're going to keep it on their roofing material. Sometimes homeowners want the builder to actually extend the drain spout to the lower gutter, which is between them and the builder. Flashings, we find sometimes they just didn't install it correctly. I mean, you wonder who saw that and let that go and said, oh, that looks good. It's a fairly easy call out, and your eyes are glancing and you find them very quickly when you walk up to the house. Some of the exterior things that we're finding. Here's a common thing here in Southern California I'd like to cover with you. This is cracking, minor cracking versus major cracking that we call out for the builder to repair. We have here in California a number of builders that they loved in their design to use what we call styrofoam pop-out features. These pop-out features are around windows. They're trim features. They're off the side of the balcony. You guys who are old home builders, years ago we just used wood, 2x4s to do these type of trim. But now, because of the expense of wood, and these become very popular, this is just styrofoam. Looks like wood, but they're easily damaged. And here you see the drip edge. They had a problem with the drip edge, is what we're pointing out here. The drip edge off the balcony here is causing premature discoloration of the paint, which is easy to call out. And the builder will actually come out and they will correct this issue, correct the issue that starts it. And upon further evaluation, this whole section here was changed out by the builder. Underneath this styrofoam feature, there's also another drip ledge here, right here. And if it's not installed properly, they get runoff down here, and then you have discoloration underneath the pop-out feature, which is ugly, and it starts to prematurely fade the painting of the stucco features. So just take a little closer look at that, and you'll see the way it's already coming apart here. And that's also the deterioration from UV light and the fading of the paint. It just starts to peel. And this is when it becomes more critical. Here in the corner, you'll find some of these chips on this styrofoam feature. Call them out, because once they're open, they deteriorate much faster. And then you have replacement issues. The builder needs to come out and actually replace the feature. And people sue over that stuff. So the builder tries to help people, understand the limitations and, the peeling. This is definitely not the homeowner that did this. This is just a premature delamination of the paint from this particular feature. And you can see the staining coming down on the back side here. So there was the slope and the way the water moisture kind of creeps underneath and causes the staining to appear. Let's go down a little bit more here. We do have sometimes the brick features, veneer, and we're always checking the veneer. Many times veneer starts to come apart. They did border around it, and they're easy fixes for the builder. Homeowners sometimes don't even see them, but as you're checking the veneer features, always good to call it out, because eventually this one was just about ready to fall off. You put your hand there and just move it a little bit, and you can see that it's almost a half-inch crack from the veneer. Moving down on some other things. Okay, here's the area that I wanted to tell you about as well. This is a builder issue. So what the builder did is he put a drip line in here, and you can see it right here in the corner of this picture. And that drip line also runs very close to the foundation here. And so right in this area, they're getting efflorescence, and it's draining right, or it's actually watering the foundation. So they're going to have some problems down the road if they don't correct this. This particular issue can be seen a little closer here. And just taking a simple picture, the builder had his crew out there changing the way that they installed the front irrigation system on this home. The homeowner didn't even know it existed. The problem existed. So a good call out there for your builder or your inspectors. Let's see. This is a good one here. AC wall inlet box deficiency. This is a brand new unit, right? And so the AC guy came out, put the little boot on, and then put his line set in there. But he failed to seal this. The boot did not have a proper seal around it. And so it was obviously, an area where you see it's already broken away. They put it in, didn't seal the penetration, and we're having rats, little mice that are crawling up the line set into the attic here. People wonder, where's it coming? Well, we can probably tell you one place it's coming. And you can see right here in the corner too, it looks like some more stucco was just slopped in underneath this as well. So it's just poor quality workmanship, just too quick. They weren't paying attention to the details. First year, we're always calling out air filters. I know all you guys are too, whether it's a first year or not. AC drain pans. It's unbelievable how many times we will find that there is no catch pan under some of these applications of the HVAC in the attic. They forgot to put in the drain pan. And it's a simple call out, but boy, a heck of a job to put in afterwards. So but the homeowner doesn't know it, and then we call it out. Sometimes they're already having leaking that is occurring with the condensation line, and they have issues in their drywall underneath the area. Okay, here's another common thing. Look at this. This is a brand new build, not even a year, and the garage door is already fading. So here's the problem with this here in California. They put in the white panels on these sectional garage doors, and then they paint them. So it's not baked in. It's not an enamel baked and bake, onto the panel. It's just a application of paint after it has been installed. And you can see that basically panels are already starting to discolor and to fade. And good call out for the builder to come back out, reapply the paint because it is premature in its failure, the paint failure. You find those, good call out. Some of the odd things that you wouldn't call it out usually on, here's a 10-year-old home and you have a little paint, discrepancy, it's all cosmetic. But for the 11th month warranty, cosmetic items are on the table. This is a number of the minor issues that you'll always find here with common cracks here. This is nothing structural, it's just cosmetic. And so the builder will come out and will improve in their sealing of these little hairline cracks around window frames, door frames, things of that nature. Here's a good call out. Oh yeah, this is the grout cracking, new grout. It's going to crack the first year. And around cabinets start to separate. People think their cabinets are coming apart, but this is just caulking, finished caulking around the half round that they put in there, half round edge. And then they put the caulking and it's dried. And because of the settling, it shrinks, the new material shrinks, and you have the caulking crack. You can certainly look inside the cabinet. It was installed correctly, but it's just a matter of reapplication of caulking in this case. All right, here's another big thing. Just bringing this to attention here on this particular application of the tile shower. Usually we also will do a pan test. So everybody knows how to do that. Clog up the drain there, and then we have a little device that we put in, and then fill the shower pan with water, and the water goes over into the drain, so it doesn't drain over the edge here, the curb. But then we start to look for any failure of the shower pan. And this is awesome, especially if the shower is on an exterior wall, because immediately you start seeing the indications of pan failure. And also down below, underneath the house or underneath first story, if this is a second story, you'll see discoloration. Got to be careful though, you don't want to cause more damage than has already been made. And then of course, we're looking at the dam and the leaks that sometimes, they install these shower doors. The shower door starts to leak and it comes right out. And this is an area of damage that will notably be caused right here where the drywall meets the tile. And you'll have a deterioration of this particular component because the door is not properly sealed or the glass is not properly sealed. See if we can get you some more. Let me go to another case here and find you some more interesting things that you like to see. We're kind of running out of time. I'm going to go skip to a couple of these other things that I found of interest. You might find interest too. Same things that we're always finding here. Damage that needs to be called out. Here is something that some builders will help the homeowner to appreciate, that even though this AC condenser unit is not level, they can come out and re-level it, but it's because the homeowner has not done any landscaping on the exterior of their backyard. And this is basically considered a temporary plate or shelf for the AC. So it starts to lean, and the builder, is not yet responsible. When they hire someone to come out and do their landscaping, the owner wants to make sure that he gets an licensed HVAC technician, not a landscaper, to move that AC condenser, because the builder will say you moved it without permission by the builder or the use of a licensed provider and you have just lost your warranty on it. So be careful in helping them to understand that it's their responsibility to landscape around it to keep it from becoming unlevel in its application, which is shown here. Let's see, let me go down here. Oh, here's the indication of that firewall. This is the garage and the drywall that we were talking about. I'll give you a picture of that. And right up underneath, you see the stem wall, then the sill plate, and it's not properly sealed or finished. So this is a good call out for the builder. The builder appreciated it, brought his contractor back, and they filled this area in with proper fire stop. Okay, and let's see. Differences between cracks. This is a new landscaping by a builder, hardscaping, and it had cracked, and there was displacement starting. So this whole section got called out, and the homeowner had it all redone, which is once again, the structure, you know, having their line, irrigation lines for the landscaping put too close, not properly done, post tension. And let me go to another report here. We can call out one more real quick. Oh, here's a good one. So you go to the panel, right? Here in California, we have most of our homes are now installed with alarms. And here's something, usually it is okay to put a lock stop, a LOTO device, LOTO, lockout device, tag out device on the panel where the smoke or alarm, fire alarm is located. The only problem with this one is this is not the correct type of LOTO. So out here in California, the ones that they put on these particular breakers are red, and they're designed just to keep you from shutting them off, but it will allow the breaker to trip if needed. This one will not. So basically, we caught the wrong type of LOTO being used, wrong type of LOTO device being used on this particular panel, which is a very simple fix, but it is a safety thing. So garage door, you know, all their insulation around the garage door, below the garage door. Here's the builder, you know, had some guy put it in and put a little hole. I guess he was thinking that this is going to be good for drainage, but hey, it's good for mice as well. So they had to come back and correct that whole thing. Anyway, and this is up in the attic, damaged trusses that we talked about, gusset plates that were coming apart. Always good to find those in new homes. Builder client satisfaction becomes higher that way. And anyway, I know you guys know the paint deficiencies. Many times when they're painting these houses, they put you know, the flat paint where it shouldn't be, or the semi-gloss where it shouldn't be, or where it should be, and we call it out, and the homeowner gets a whole new repaint job, and it saves them obviously hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. So anyway, I come to the end of the hour. At the end of the hour, I hope that this has been informative for you all. And looks like, you know, at the end, all of us appreciate InterNACHI being the host of this particular seminar here, or this webinar. And make sure you get your 10 items here. If you've already done these 10 classes, make sure you advertise that you're an 11-month warranty inspector, and use some of the keys that we've given to you. And I wish you all well and hope that your business thrives. Any questions out there about this type of inspection? Hopefully it did all of you well.
Minutes to type it out.
Yeah, you have to type it out. And just maybe just a cue here, you know, when you know, the main difference between the 10 and 11 month is not much difference in the inspection process, but coming back at the 11th month, we encourage you to encourage your clients to have the 11th month, give them a little discount as well, because it's going to be easier for you to inspect. You've already had an inspection on it before. Probably goes a little quicker on the 11th month, and you'll know quickly what to look for and see if any repairs have been made, especially on the exterior. Builders, you know, sometimes hesitate. There are some builders that will actually come out and correct anything that's even a little less than 1/16, but they argue not to correct the hairline, which they have the right to, because then you create a webbing effect on the stucco, and it starts to look worse if they're not a really good stucco technician. It looks worse than having the little hairlines. So having the knowledge to explain to your clients, the differences in the types of repairs that we're requesting for them. And then when they see the list of repairs, they know that they've, received the best type of inspection and the value is plain. And James Meadows, my goodness, have you seen water entrance into the service panel due to weather heads not being sealed? Now, we have not. What I have seen is plants, vines, growing into the panels. They're brand new panels. And some of these homeowners love to plant vines, and the vines somehow make it into the panels. But I've not, so far with the new build, the 11th month inspections, we have not seen moisture intrusion into the panels, the service panel. And it is true that depending on the builder, sometimes we can go into a community and we have, word spreads that we're there giving these inspections, especially if people are pleased with the inspection, they spread it to their neighbors. And sometimes certain builders have a contractor that keeps doing the same thing over and over again on their builds, and the builder supervisor never caught it. And then we get there and we catch it, and then what they'll do is that builder will actually send out a local rep. We found it more than once. They'll send out their local reps into the field and just start going from door to door, checking this particular component, which then saves everybody. And hopefully the word spreads that you're there checking. We've had one condo community where we got a number of inspections being performed, and we found the same thing. The way that they installed the a gas supply line to their stoves was incorrect. And so we found one, we found a second one, we found a third one. And by that time, the builder had been getting the repair requests, and they sent out, an APB to their local rep, and he went and found probably another 20 homes that need to be corrected right away. And it goes to safety hazards. So you're really on top of it when you can identify the builder's contractor that had performed that type of work. And from Greg, is there any way to find out when new homes are reaching the 11th month warranty? So here's the key. You can actually go online and put in a builder, go to the builder site, and you can find out where their new homes are being built. They'll have advertisements because they're building in this community or that community, wherever you're servicing. And that's where to hit. And basically, when you get the notice of where builders are currently building and selling, basically they're in the selling phase now. Now you know when to mark your calendar, and you can advertise for the new construction, and then about 7 to 8 months after, advertise for your 11th month construction. If you have a realtor that has access to MLS and they're good friends with them, many times they can look up where new construction has been created by builders and start looking up close of escrow dates by MLS. So that's another way that you might be able to drum up some business in that area. Thanks, Greg. I know Greg. He's a good man. And okay, well, it looks like at least we were able to get a couple of you to stimulate some questions, and we appreciate you being with us tonight.